Ahmed from Palestine.
Alaikum.
Alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah.
I want to ask if Coke haram because it was discovered that it has tiny traces of nutmeg oil.
Are you
But it
talking
wasn't
about
con-
cola?
Yes.
First of all, it was discovered, it was proven, it was stated. This or these phrases we've been hearing since a very, very long time. Since the time of like 30 years, 25 years, we've been hearing it about soap bars, about toothpastes, about soft drinks, about medicine, about sweets and candies. And as Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen says, all of these are not backed up by medical reports or scientific research or something that is independent and proven. It's all organization.net, .com, whatever, that has no reliability to it or no authenticity to it. And therefore, we will continue to consume these things because the default is it's halal till proven otherwise. We can throw accusations left, right, and center. The coffee you're drinking, wallah, it was proven that the coffee beans from Brazil have this and that. And from Ethiopia, it has this and that. And from Indonesia, it has this and that. And some is najis, some is haram, some is pork related. All of these are nonsense. No proof, and therefore the default remains as it is. Mu'adh from India.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, I want to ask about one incident happened with Sahaba after the death of Prophet alayhi salam. There is one Sahaba named Hazrat bin Malik radiallahu ta'ala anhu. His
Hadrat bin Malik?
Anas bin Malik.
Anas bin Malik is the servant of the Prophet alayhi salam. May Allah be pleased with him. Okay.
There has been no rainfall this year. His servant told him, so if there will be no rain, your land will be remain barren. So Hazrat Anas bin Malik radiallahu ta'ala anhu pray to Allah and rain start, but only on his fields, not another. So is it karamat and is this authentic?
I was not there at the time, and this is possible. It's Allah's will to send the rain wherever He wants. So if this had happened and it only rained on Anas ibn Malik's farm, who is the servant of the Prophet ﷺ, who is one of the fortunate people to receive dua, because when his mom, Sulaim, brought him to the Prophet ﷺ and said, O Prophet of Allah, your servant, Unais, this is a nice way of calling children by making their name in the small form. Your servant, Unais, which is Anas, make dua for him. So the Prophet said, O Allah, prolong his life and increase his wealth and put barakah in his offspring and forgive his sins. Prolong his life, he said, I'm over, I think, 100 years of age now. And put barakah in his wealth. Every farm in Medina gives produce once a year. My farms give twice a year. And increase his offspring. He says, I have buried over 100 souls of my own offspring, children, grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren. And I am wishful that the fourth one would also be answered, which Allah would forgive my sins. So this is a possibility, and Allah knows best. Suham from the US.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah.
So I have a specific scenario where I was praying and I was in a position, let's say for example ruku, and by mistake I didn't stay long enough, to say the tasbih. For example, Subhana Rabbiyal Azim, maybe in the middle I was intending to get up. And I just moved my head a little bit, but my hands were still on my knees. So like I was still in a position, but people can see that I intended to get up. But I didn't got up fully. My hands were still on my knees, but I moved my head. So what should I have done at that position?
Nothing.
And what should I do next?
Nothing. You were still in the ruku' position, so you could have said it again and then again and then again. As long as your hands were on your knees, you were still in the ruku' position. Saqib from Bangladesh.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, my question is that we have a driver who does various jobs, like taking my mother to the job, which is an interest-based bank, and other jobs like taking me to school. Now, I assisted my mother to give the driver the salary, not from my account, just she told me to take the money from her hand and told me to pay. So I paid. Now, my mother pays the money in my school and I am a dependent. Now, I feared that did I assist her in going to the office, which is an interest-based bank, and does it make my income impermissible forever? And does it become kufr for me or my mother to pay schools where the kufr or shirk is in the syllabus and taught?
Yeah, Saqib, I told you before, you have a very serious issue. The issue is not whether your mother's earning is haram or not, because it is haram if she's working in an interest-based bank. The issue of cascading things over all different aspects of life without knowledge. We agree. You are an ignorant person. You don't know Arabic, you don't know Qur'an, you don't know Fiqh, you don't know Tawheed. You have zero knowledge in Islam. You're dependent on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok to learn your religion, unfortunately. Now shaitan is whispering in your ears, and it's like a snowball coming from the top of the hill, very tiny, and as it comes down, it grows in size and momentum and speed. By the time it reaches the bottom of the hill, it destroys anything in its path. This is what overthinking is doing to you. Your biggest problem is not in handing the salary to the driver or paying the school to study. It is how you think. And by thinking that this little thing is worse than a drop of acid, it penetrates your clothes, it penetrates the floors, the ceilings, the carpets, the walls and everything, when in reality it doesn't. So what you need to do is to sit with a scholar, to talk to him, to have him align your thinking with reality and with Shariah, instead of going around having anxiety and panic attacks, giving takfir to everybody, thinking that your income is haram. And the sad thing is, you're thinking about things in the future. If I were to use your logic, I would say, how do you wear these clothes bought from your mom, earned from haram? How do you eat the food? How do you use the electricity, the water, and the rest of the things in the home? What will you do? This is insane. The method of thinking is what generates extremists, terrorists, and the likes. And this is our role, to align your thinking with reality, with the Sharia, so that you could become a normal Muslim practicing your religion in peace.